everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I thought I would do a book haul. I have several books to haul, so I'm splitting them up into like smaller hauls, and I just thought, you know what, I should just do all of my mystery books in one instead of having them mixed with my romance. So I've separated all of like at least what I think that I got that were mystery, and put them all in like one. I may have missed some, but I think I got them all. And I have 3 horror books, and so I'm going to include those as well. So I'm just going to go ahead with the 3 horror books that I found. I picked these up because there were these 3 together, and they were bound together, and they were $1. So I thought, you know, they look like old horror books, so I'd give it a try and see what happens. And they are, 2 of them are, what do you call it? Anthologies? That's it. That's the word. Anthologies. It's Tales of Unlimited Horror Alone by Night. Edited by Michael and Dawn Condon, whatever. But yeah, it's got a really creepy looking cover and everything. And it says, enter the world of supernatural, teeming with very special denizens of its own, so rich in gory variety, the heart thud sounds, sweat breaks, the cringing minds searching, shuddering for the next ghastly manifestation in this terrifying tome of horror. Includes stories by Henry Kuttner, Richard Matheson, Saki, Logan Swanson, Ben Hetch, Frank Belknap Long, August Derleth, F. Marion Crawford, Elizabeth Sanixie, I'm not exactly how you say that, Holding, and Robert Block. And I will admit that there are only a couple of the authors on here that even sound remotely familiar. This came out, let's see. It came out in 1961, and I believe this edition is actually from 1967, so still a really old edition. Then the other one I have is Tales from the Unknown, and it looks pretty cool too. It says, a macabre voyage into the unearthly. Haunting fiction that rips at reality with the claws of truth. Startling nonfiction that is mind-bending in its power. And this says partial contents. It says there are books by Lord Lytton, I'm not exactly how to say that. Frank Stevens, W.B. Seabrook, Princess Catherine Radziwill, Judge Marcus Kavanaugh, Jack London, Raymond Buckland, and Wilmond Minard, and says, and much more. And yeah, so that's what that is. And this one is from 1970, and it says the copyright's 1970, but it says first printing was 1971, so it's pretty old. And I actually know this author, at least, and the last horror book I have is Christopher Pike's Whisper of Death. They return home to a dead world. And so, yeah, looks super creepy. I remember reading Christopher Pike when I was a teenager. I really loved his stuff, so I basically picked that up because I seen the Christopher Pike in there, to be honest. It's from 1991, so yeah, I was a teenager. And then, during my Retro Romance Readathon, some people were reading Mary Stewart, and I was really curious, and so I decided to order a couple off of abebooks.com, and one of them was reading 9 Coaches Waiting by Mary Stewart, and she said it was really good, and I seen this, and I just really like this cover. I thought it was like super cool. It's a little dinged up and bent up, but I mean, what do you expect for an old copy? And this copy is from 1970, so yeah, it's a pretty old copy. This story, though, is from 1958, so. And then the other one I got was Touch Not the Cat by Mary Stewart, and I don't know, but the cover just called me. It's like the most messed up cover I have ever seen in my life. It's crazy. I don't get what they were doing, but it's crazy. The Sins of the Past, the Keys to the Future. But yeah, it looks pretty interesting, and I'm really curious to try this one. This one came out, let's see. This one came out in 1976, looks like. So, yeah, we'll have to try this one soon. Then I went to my usual shopping spots and decided to get some of these. It's not, I don't think it's the first in the series, but it's really close. I think it's like number 2, maybe. I do not remember. I know I looked them up, and if it was really, really far down in the series on some of these, I wouldn't get them. But if they were kind of close to the beginning, I would. And then maybe I can just find like the next book in the series. But this is, the story is from 1946, but this edition is from 1985. And it is The House in Lordship Lane. It's a Hennard mystery by A.E.W. Mason. And I was just curious about it. Then I do know this one was first in the series, and this is Second Advent by Tony Perona. It's a Nick Bertato, but anyway, it's that kind of, it's his mystery. I can't pronounce his name. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be interesting. This one is from 2002, so it's a newish mystery. It's not quite as old as some of the other ones. Then I have Cruising for Murder, a Morgan Taylor mystery by Susan Sussman. Know nothing about any of these. I just basically went on the covers and stuff like that, which is pretty much what I normally do. So sometimes I get something good and sometimes I don't. Dead in the Water. And I have Final Closing by Barbara Lee. It is a Chesapeake Bay mystery. I think this one was number 2 in the series. This one's from 1999. I got a little bit of a newer book here, and you can tell it's not even, there's no creases or anything. It's like super cool, and I got it for fairly cheap. So it's part of the A Crew of Hunters series. It's Pale as Death by Heather Graham. I love this series. I haven't got to this yet because I'm not that far into it, but this one came out in 2018, so it's like a fairly new one, and I'm only on like number 15, I think. 14 or 15, somewhere around there. So I have a long ways to go because there's like 30 something in the series. Then I seen this one and I just had to grab it because basically it was pretty much because it's Sherlock Holmes and the cover. I mean, look at this cover. It is super cool. So we have A Golden Illustrated Classic, Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by A. Conan Doyle. Don't even spell out his first name. But yeah, it's a really pretty painting. And the cover is just super cool. It's got really cool stuff. And yes, I got this because I looked in it and I saw illustrations. And so I had to have it. And look at that. That is super cool. I don't know what adventures are in here, but it just looks really cool. It's got the Red-Headed League, the Boscombe Valley Mysteries, the Five Orange Pips, the Adventures of Blue Carbuncle, the Adventures of the Engineer's Tomb, the Adventures of Noble Bachelor, the Adventures of Barrel Coronet, and the Adventures of Copper Beaches. Never heard of any of those, but maybe one of these days I will dive into this and check them out. This next pile I have is a bunch of Aunt Dimity books. I've not read Aunt Dimity, but I know everybody talks about her that I know that reads like cozy mysteries and stuff. They really, really love the Aunt Dimity series, and when I was at the library, I seen a whole bunch of them, and they were for $1 a piece, so I was like, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and grab them. There are quite a few of them are like later ones in the series, so I'll have a bunch of books to look forward to when I get later into the series when I start it, but it is a series that I'm kind of thinking I'm going to start this year. So this one is number 4, which is probably the closest to book 1 that I have in this whole like stack. It's Aunt Dimity Digs In, and I don't know, but the little fluffy bunny just makes me chuckle. But it's so cute. It's by Nancy Atherton. Then I have Aunt Dimity and the Next of Kin. So the bunny is going to be on the bunny is on all these, I think. That is so cute. I just didn't realize it until right now. But there's the bunny sitting there. And then we have Aunt Dimity and the Deep Blue Sea. And see the bunny. The bunny. And we have Aunt Dimity Slays the Dragon. And so then we have the little bunny up here. Aunt Dimity Down Under. And Aunt Dimity and the Family Tree. And Aunt Dimity and the Lost Prince. All by Nancy Atherton, of course. So yeah, that's all the mystery books that I have to haul today. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have read any of these books, or any of them catch your eye, please comment down below so that we can chat about books. And I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.